You sit down to work with the best of intentions. You have the time, you have the energy, and you're ready to go. But almost immediately, an invisible friction sets in. Your eyes drift, your thoughts slide sideways. So you stand up. You gather the stray coffee cups, you stack the loose papers. You wipe down the single square foot of desk right in front of your keyboard. And suddenly, you can breathe. The work finally clicks into gear. Most of us assume this sequence of events is entirely about aesthetics. We think a disorganized space simply looks bad, and if we can't power through it, we are lacking discipline or giving in to laziness. But that friction is a highly predictable biological response. Your inability to focus in a messy room happens because your physical environment is actively draining finite cognitive resources from your nervous system. Your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do. It is simply becoming overwhelmed by a modern visual environment it was never designed to process. To understand the mechanics of this drain, we have to look at your attentional network. This is the neurological system in charge of deciding what gets your active focus and what gets safely filtered out. In a clean space, this network directs your attention exactly where you choose. In a cluttered space, it gets hijacked. Every stray receipt, an open drawer, and tangled cord in your periphery quietly competes for neural processing, and this visual competition directly attacks your working memory. Working memory is your brain's temporary mental workspace. Think of it like the physical surface of a desk. It has a strictly limited amount of area before things start falling off the edges. Cognitive psychologists estimate the average brain can hold roughly 4 chunks of information at a time. In a messy room, background processing forces visual data into those slots, leaving almost no room for the information you actually need. A task feels impossible in a chaotic room because your available cognitive bandwidth has already been consumed by your surroundings. The work didn't get harder, you just have less memory available to do it. The drain on your focus goes beyond visual crowding. Your nervous system reads your physical environment literally, treating the physical state of your room as raw data about the current state of your life. When it scans an environment full of unpacked bags, unwashed dishes, and scattered mail, it interprets those objects as unresolved situations. They are physical representations of things that require your attention, but haven't received it. This timeline illustrates the Zeigarnik Effect. A completed task safely fades away, but an unfinished task remains brightly illuminated and pulses. Visible clutter forces your brain to open dozens of these loops, consuming resources in the background until finally dealt with. That vague, restless feeling in a messy space is actually a highly logical biological reaction. Your brain is generating a constant, low-grade stress response to remind you that unfinished threats still exist in your territory. The tax of existing in this space starts before you even open a document. A chaotic environment forces your brain to make dozens of unconscious micro-decisions. Where do I set my mug? Do I move this stack first? Can I ignore that bill? Processing these unspoken questions depletes a highly specific mental resource. The cumulative weight causes decision fatigue, leaving your mind bankrupt before you have accomplished a single meaningful task. At the same time, the environment engages in behavioral priming. A disorganized space subtly cues your brain to adopt a feeling of helplessness. It sends an unconscious signal that you lack control over your life, and that intentional focus is out of reach. 2 people can sit down to do the same job, having slept the same hours. But if one is in a clean room and the other is surrounded by clutter, they are not starting with the same resources. The messy environment has already spent their energy. This relationship between your external space and your internal state runs in both directions. A deteriorating physical space is rarely a sign of laziness. Often, it is a symptom of an overwhelmed inner world. If you are dealing with unprocessed stress, grief, or major life transitions, your cognitive capacity is completely maxed out. There is simply nothing left over to fold the laundry. This flowchart maps out the resulting trap. Emotional heaviness drains your energy, making it much harder to clean your space. The growing mess then amplifies your feeling of emotional heaviness, and the cycle reinforces itself over and over. Recognizing this biological loop replaces guilt with leverage. Once you understand that your mind and your room are in a constant, measurable conversation, you stop blaming yourself and start using the environment to your advantage. You don't need to overhaul your entire life or clean the whole house. Simply clearing one small, visible surface sends a deliberate, undeniable message of control and intentionality straight back to your nervous system. Closing just a few of those visual loops gives your brain the breathing room it desperately needs to re-engage. Take care of the space, and the space will take care of the focus.